Well, welcome back to Coach B's studio. Another exciting episode in the studio. This session, I feel it's important that I develop a brief understanding of my great mentor, Alfred Adler. Understanding Adler, belonging, purpose, and the courage to grow. I should have played my music. Well, welcome back to Coach B's studio and another exciting episode or session. Today, I want to take a brief look at Alfred Adler. I've called this session the Understanding Adler, Belonging, Purpose, and the Courage to Grow. So, I find Adler in the exploration of his work, as most of the field, to be very profound, and I'm always looking for the ones that are deeply humanistic, and I think that's what Adler represents to me. He's a pioneering psychologist whose work still shapes therapy, coaching, and personal growth today. Adler believed that at the heart of all human behavior lies a desire for belonging, purpose, and contribution. Belonging, purpose, and contribution. And that understanding this can unlock our capacity for growth, connection, and courage. If you would, take a moment to visualize a tree with deep roots and branches reaching upward. A gigantic tree, if you would. Think of Adler's ideas like a tree. The roots represent our foundational need for belonging. The trunk symbolizes our courage to grow and face challenges. And the branches and leaves represent our unique contribution to the world. So, who was Alfred Adler? Adler was an Austrian psychiatrist and the founder of individual psychology. Unlike Sigmund Freud, who emphasized the unconscious mind, Adler focused on our conscious choices, social connections, and sense of purpose. He believed that our sense of belonging and striving for significance shape our behavior and well-being more than anything else. That's important. That striving for significance. And that's what shapes our behavior and well-being. Adler's approach was a hopeful one, a practical one, and deeply humanistic. He believed we are not defined by our past, but by the goals we set and the choices we make today. Some core ideas from his philosophy. Some of his most important ideas and how they connect to our emotional and psychological health. The need for belonging and significance. Number one, Adler believed that belonging is a fundamental human drive. When we feel disconnected, isolated, or overlooked, we may develop feelings of inferiority or act out in unhelpful ways. So a reflection question: where in your life do you feel a strong sense of belonging? Where do you feel disconnected? Another great idea that Adler suggested to us is something we call the inferiority complex. He introduced the idea of the complex, the feeling that we are less capable, less important, or less worthy than others. And he believed then that these feelings can either motivate us or grow or cause us to withdraw and feel stuck. So the point is not that the feelings themselves are bad, but what we do with them. So we have these feelings. Are we going to use them to motivate us and to grow? Or are we going to use them to withdraw and become stuck and despondent? A reflection question. Is there an area of your life where you feel less than? How might you reframe that belief? Now that's using cognitive behavioral terminology. How might you now look to use that to motivate you to grow? Number 3, courage to be imperfect. Adler emphasized the importance of having the courage to face life's imperfections and challenges head on. True courage isn't about being fearless. It's about showing up despite our fears. Here's a question. Where in your life do you need a little more courage right now? 4th area, contribution to the community. Adler believed that the true fulfillment comes from making a meaningful contribution to others. When we focus on helping others, we step out of self-centered fears and experience deep connection. Our reflection question on this one: what's one small way you can contribute to someone else's well-being today? Now here's some key books by Alfred Adler. Adler's wisdom has been preserved in several powerful books. Here's a few must-reads. Understanding Human Nature, where he explores how our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors are shaped by our need for belonging and purpose. The key lesson: self-awareness is the first step towards growth. Now, here's another book not written by Adler, but I ask most of my clients to read, and I love this one. The Courage to be Disliked by, pardon me for the name, Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitake Koga, inspired by Adler's teachings. This is a modern interpretation which explains Adler's ideas through an engaging dialogue format, and the key lesson is true freedom comes from embracing imperfection and living authentically. Now, his other book, What Life Could Mean to You, Adler breaks down how our mindset shapes our life experiences. And I believe it's actually what life should mean to you. We've touched that up a little bit. The key lesson from that is purpose gives life meaning. Think on that. It's a little twist for many of us. So these books aren't just theory, they're tools for living a more connected, courageous, and meaningful life. Now, here's a little Adlerian journal prompt you might try, rooted in Adler's philosophy. Number 1, write about a time you felt a strong sense of belonging. Number 2, reflect on an area where you struggle with feelings of inferiority. Number 3, identify one small, courageous step you can take this week. Number 4, write down one way you can contribute to someone else's well-being today. This isn't about perfection. It's about showing up for yourself and others with courage and intention. Adler and nature, a metaphorical connection. So please, again, imagine trees with deep roots and a person climbing a mountain and a river flowing freely. Adler's ideas pair beautifully with nature metaphors. The tree roots symbolize belonging and connection. The mountain climb represents the courage to face challenges, and the river flow mirrors our ability to adapt and contribute to the larger ecosystem. These metaphors remind us we are all connected. Our growth matters, not just for us, but the world around us. So here's a challenge for the week. Choose one Adlerian theme, belonging, courage, or contribution, and take one intentional action to embody it in your daily life. Remember, Adler taught us that small steps create big changes. Every action towards growth matters. Thank you again for joining me today at Coach B's studio. Adler's teachings remind us that we are not defined by our past, but by the courage and purpose we bring to the present moment. If today's video resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your reflections in the comments below. And as always, grow, connect, and thrive one story at a time.